I'm almost 30 and I've finally found my first relationship. Hi, I'm Caitlin. Welcome back to my channel. If you feel like you're a late bloomer in life, this video is for you. In this video, I want to talk about what it's like to get into your first relationship in your late 20s. When I was single, I thought there were so many reasons as to why I couldn't find a relationship. Either there was not enough time, or the dating apps were so bad, there weren't enough cute guys in my city. There was always a reason and always an excuse for it. However, now that I've gotten into my first real relationship, I feel like I have a much better perspective on why I was single for so long. And ultimately, the reason that I've been single for so long is just because I've never really given love a chance. You see, I was a late bloomer growing up, and the opposite gender never really noticed me. I was very shy and I didn't have a lot of friends. And even when I was at school and I did try to make friends and I was rejected, it felt like a big deal because I didn't have a lot of other people. So I became very rejection sensitive. From that, I think I just learned to shut love out for the fear of being seen and then being rejected because of it. Looking back, I sabotaged myself a lot in love. I never gave love a chance or let love in, and I was terrified of rejection. I honestly felt like there was no way that the person that I liked would return feelings for me, and I honestly just wanted to feel safe and like there was no risk involved. So to cope with these feelings, I would go on dates with people that I wasn't really interested in. I would shut down at the first sight of rejection and I would label it as incompatibility. I would be too shy to go after what I really wanted, and I wouldn't give people time to decide if they really liked me. If they didn't really like me right away, I was like a hard no about it. And yes, dating these days does suck, and the dating apps are horrendous. It's so hard to find someone that is compatible with you and is emotionally available that you're also attracted to. However, I can definitely name a couple of times in which I self-sabotaged the situation. There was so many dry spells within my 20s. In your 20s is when you're supposed to have the most options and having the most fun with those options. I think at the end of the day, if you've been single for an abnormally long amount of time, it's safe to say that you probably have an avoidant attachment style. And if you don't have an avoidant attachment style, I think that you might have developed one in the long time in which you've been single. Because honestly, it is just normal and human to connect with other people. We're not meant to be nonchalant or not care about other people at all. Okay, so I've definitely had my issues getting into a relationship, and I've seen where I've gone wrong. Hindsight is 2020. However, I know that there's so many people who are also late bloomers that also can't find relationships, and you're probably wondering what changed? Why are you in a relationship now? Well, that is a great question. So overall, I did a couple of things to work on some of my issues. The first thing I did was work on my self-confidence. And I believe that this is the most important thing because you never get anything that you feel is good if you don't believe that you deserve it. So whether you work on your insecurity by trying to fix it or whether you just try to accept it, it doesn't really matter as long as you feel good about yourself at the end of the day. You're gonna have insecurities. It's unrealistic to think that you're not gonna have bad days. In your relationship, you should find someone that you can be vulnerable with. And I'm not saying to just get rid of all your insecurities completely, but you just don't want them to be in the driver's seat. You don't want them to steer your relationship off course. You just want to feel comfortable enough in your own skin. The second thing I did was I started putting myself in positions with people I was genuinely interested in. If I was scared to pursue something with someone, that's how I knew that I should actually go for it and just see where the relationship took me. I think I used to think that if I felt scared or anxious, that was a red flag and that meant I shouldn't pursue someone. Now I realize that was kind of my fear talking, and that was me being afraid that I wasn't going to get the outcome that I wanted, and that I should actually pursue that with that person because it meant that I cared. I think when you start dating people that you aren't actually interested in, you kind of detach from caring. So therefore, you never really put your feelings on the line, and you're not putting yourself in a position where you could get rejected or you could get hurt. You're just trying to keep yourself safe. And finally, I just started being more open. I think these days we run at the first sight of a red flag. And we tell ourselves these things of, if he wanted to, he would, which sometimes is very true and needs to be said. And then other times, I think we use it as an excuse to hurt our own feelings before someone else can come and disappoint us. I don't know about you, but I've definitely had times in my life where I've had all these silent expectations of other people of what a first date should look like, or how often they should text me before we've even met yet. And I tell myself these things of, well, if this person really liked me, they would do X, Y, and Z thing. However, now that I've gone into my first relationship, I have a different perspective. I think that oftentimes it can take some time for feelings to develop, and you just need to see where the relationship goes. Sometimes you can be really excited about someone right off the bat, and as you get to know them, you realize that the relationship's not right. Other times, you might not be that excited about someone, but you think that there's potential, and you keep getting to know them, and your feelings grow. I think it's just important to be patient and realize that everyone moves at a different pace. So if someone's not head over heels in love with you after the first date, that's okay. Just be patient and let the relationship develop how it needs to. Overall, I know that I'm not the only person that has had issues getting into a romantic relationship. I think these issues are just a lot more common now that we have dating app culture, and we're a society that's really heavily focused on females being independent and building their lives, which, yes, so important. I love to support it, but I also don't want that to come at the expense of other people. I do think that it's so important to have all kinds of relationships in your life, not just romantic ones, but female friendships and family members. I think that's the most important thing in your life that could make you happy. So yes, we want to focus on ourselves, but it comes with balance, right? You need to be balanced and prioritize relationships as well. So those were my tips on how I've overcome some of my tendencies to self-isolate and sabotage some of my relationships. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!